Let's take us back to 2019. Shortly before the world spiraled into flames, Warzone was at its peak. I still wasn't a fan of TikTok because of the whole hit or miss trends. I couldn't go anywhere without hearing Roddy Ricch go, and we finally put the final nail in the coffin for YouTube Rewind. Throughout checking out new games to play for my stream, I came across something special. Something we never thought we'd hear again. An experience we never expected to come over the horizon. The words, Half Life Alyx? Wait, is this a mod or a fan game or something? I look below and to my utmost shock and surprise, the official Valve page is the one posting it. We as the gaming community have heard all the memes, the jokes, the tales, and the hope that seemed to die because we haven't heard anything for over a decade. Something I genuinely thought we would never see again because Valve has a reputation for not being able to count to 3. It may have not been Half-Life 3 like everybody has continuously memed about, but it was something. Officially coming back in March of 2020 during Half Life Alyx was one of the first VR games that I was truly excited for after Boneworks from some of my favorite creators. Now, not only because we managed to unlock the global achievement for surviving until the next Half-Life game, but also because this was one of the first few VR games that had a fully immersive single-player experience backed by a AAA company, which at that time was almost unheard of. And I would even say something similar to now. AAA companies are only starting to actually jump into VR development. Like the Assassin's Creed game, for example. Now, although this sure as hell is not the first video of this game, nor is it going to be the last, you haven't heard me talk about it. VR back then was really the Wild West at the time, and the opportunity that Valve brought towards the VR scene was revolutionary. But now that it's been 3 years and a lot more VR games have come out since then, it's still one of the greatest VR games to have ever been made, right? After being 3 years old, this game still holds up in a number of ways, with the graphics, the story, the gameplay, and let's not forget the physics, of course. The gameplay looked really fluid, and it actually looked like a AAA company knew what they wanted to do with virtual reality to work around with the game. I also had the overwhelming urge to pick up every single item, throw it, or poke anything that was in the game, or in my physical presence. Usually knowing that a AAA company wanting to do anything nowadays comes with a side of skepticism, but Valve seems to be one of the good boys. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Valve. And then Half-Life came out and it was... Here, hold that for me. Nothing short of phenomenal. Now, I know I might be burned at the stake or exiled from the community because this is literally my first Half-Life game. Don't fucking at me. Yet I'd always known about the game and kept a sharp eye on it from afar. I took the liberty of watching several summary videos just to figure out what the fuck was actually going on in the universe, and even played a little bit of Half-Life 2 before the release of Alyx, which Half-Life 2 now has its own fully VR port as well. To this day, it still stands as such a top contender for not just the graphics or gameplay in VR, but I'd even claim that it's a top contender for gaming in general. A lot of VR games go for a very simplistic or generic style of game. Now, that doesn't mean, any sort of generic type of VR game is bad or anything like that, but Half-Life Alyx spins this narrative a little bit. Yet with this game, it is such a solid experience, reinforced by the fact that modders have actually made the game playable without a VR headset. And if you have people that hungry, that invested to be able to jump into a game even without the base headset, I would say there's a lot more to the game than the fact that Half-Life is just now in VR. And you know for a fact that it is a solid experience if people are willing to go that far to experience a game like this. Me when she fuck, dude. But besides a phenomenal story and being one of the first true AAA single-player experiences and raising the bar for expectations of what VR could be, Alyx also opened the door to what I think most games, I'm still looking at you, super hot, should always implement in their games. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say open the door because this existed well before Half-Life Alyx came out, but something that Blatant Sorcery, Contractors, Bone Labs, Pavlov all have in common. And what I would claim is the sole reason as to why some of these games are still alive to this day is because the additions of mods. Mods and community Steam workshops, I believe, are one of the major pillars that actually upholds the VR community. Players being able to design and recreate some of their favorite maps and games, introduce new stories, and create new weapon designs helps bring so much life into the game.
Out of luck. Unless you find one.
Bro, he's limping, oh my god. Some players even have the dedication enough to revamp the entire game and even build something from the ground up. A perfect example of this in Half Life Alyx is the Little Hitman series that replicates John Wick, where you're tasked with specific missions, facing off against rival gang members and an arsenal of newer and reworked weapons. The mod is absolutely insane and could be an entire franchise within itself, and the craziest part is, it's all free within Half Life Alyx's game, but it almost doesn't even feel like Half-Life anymore. Even though some of the mods in Half Life Alyx are absolutely mind-blowing and amazing, I have to definitely talk about Levitation. Levitation is a completely free, fan-made 5-part DLC. Canon or not, so far it syncs pretty well with the story. That takes place after the events of the original Half-Life Alyx story, where Alyx must save her friends that want to infiltrate and investigate a mysterious levitating builder in the Sector X region of City 17. With Alyx soloing the Combine and carrying the whole Resistance on her back once again, this DLC really feels like an extension that was actually made by Valve. The DLC came out with new character animations, a 3 to 4 hour long story, new voiceovers, and 8 really unique and challenging levels. The level design is creative and well executed without feeling repetitive, and the voice actors did a great job at recapturing what the original character sounded like.
What's that loud, menacing noise?
What the fuck? You start off with a regular pistol again and slowly work your way into an arsenal of weapons, kind of like you did in the first game, and although you're essentially being reintroduced to the arsenal of tools that you got in the base game again, the situations are so different at this point that it honestly creates those hype moments again. From a technical perspective, nothing really game-changing actually ends up happening with the guns and weapons that you use, as well as the base mechanics. But there's something about being in a completely different environment with everything revamped that just makes it that much more hype again. From using Gordon's gloves, to having enemy overhauls, to using different weapons and adding the quality of life updates, there's just so much more to keep this game alive and kicking, as well as feeling new and refreshing every single time you boot it up.
Oh god, don't look down, don't look down!
Shit! I'm looking down! Ah! Mods and workshops are honestly a tool that a lot of games in general use just to keep them alive and kicking, which you can totally see in games like Gary's Mod, GTA 5, Minecraft, DayZ, and let's not forget the fucking king of mod supports, Skyrim, which is now over 10 years old and with a constant push of mod support has managed to not only keep this game relevant and improved upon, but has also continued to pump out some of the best upgrades that have honestly rebuilt this game to its entirety. There's mods that make the game not even recognizable anymore, which holds such a high concurrent player base 10 years after release. To let the community just be able to take the reins on game design and let them add whatever the hell they want into a game is honestly one of the best ways to keep things relevant and alive. And although it doesn't guarantee the lifespan like Skyrim has had, if it wasn't for the mods and the community workshops that these games offer, a lot of these games would be dead and buried by now. Valve has created such a complex, crisp, and well-made engine that I think it can honestly be considered the benchmark for what a lot of VR games could head towards. Go somewhere else. I'm staring death in the face right now. No, this is straight horror movie shit, bro. No way that was fucking real. Although they weren't intentionally trying to aim for what Bone Lab did in terms of creating an engine that was supposed to solely rely on mod support, the fact that they made such an amazing base game in the first place and then gave us the opportunity to utilize their tools to make your own adventures, create your own scenarios, and revamp some of the enemies, weapons, and whatever you can in the game, leaves so much room for opportunity for people to learn, adapt, and build upon the legacy that Half-Life Alyx has left. Although it may have been the benchmark for what can be considered phenomenal VR games, which I only expect VR to improve upon from here on out, aside from their really well-made story, the utilization of mods and community support manages to make Half-Life Alyx still hold that pedestal and be crowned as one of the best VR games ever made, even 3 years after its release. And until either another AAA developer makes something this monumental, I believe that it'll still hold on to that crown for years to come. What a way to go, dude. Hey, let him go. Okay. It's only a matter of time until we hopefully see other companies try and jump on the bandwagon as well. And just in saying that, I realize that we're not that far from that opportunity right now. With another AAA company aiming towards a VR version of Assassin's Creed, no, although I don't really fucking trust Ubisoft, we can only hope that that much love and passion continues to be pushed out onto VR consoles. With VR slowly becoming more and more affordable and offering so many different versions for different consumers, as well as other AAA companies slowly starting to aim their sights towards VR, I can only hope that VR continues to be built upon and improved upon from this day forward. But until then, Half Life Alyx manages to continue to hold that crown. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Join the Discord. Please like, comment, subscribe. Leave.